Hey, how's it going? I'm Nick Gaska and welcome back to I Could Do That DIY for another doll repaint video. Today I'm going to be customizing Honey, the doll that I designed and created myself. For this project I'm going to be taking on one of my favorite foods, pizza. And not just that, a New York City icon and legend, Pizza Rat. Alright, let's get into it. Here's the face I sculpted for a Honey Rat. Oh my god, she's so cute, I'm obsessed. I love her ears, her nose, and her teeth. The idea to do Honey Rat actually came from one of the viewers. Thank you so much for the idea, I couldn't get it out of my head and I just had to make a doll. If anyone has any ideas for other dolls, make sure to leave it in the comments below. Alright, let's get into it. Here's how the face turned out after it's all printed. I printed her in a light gray. Alright, now let's get started with the face up. As usual, I'll use a watercolor pencil to mark out the layout of the eye. While I do that, I just have to say thank you so much for watching and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Also make sure to hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all of our latest projects. Also make sure to follow my Instagram accounts. After I do one side, I'll do the other side off screen. Then I'll use my pastels to add some color to the face. To start, I'll use a white pastel to lighten up the muzzle and the eyes. After that, I'll use a rose pastel to add some blush to the cheeks. Then I'll use a light pink pastel on the ears and the nose. Once I'm happy with my progress so far, I'm going to seal in my work with a layer of Mr. Super Clear. Then on the next layer, using a black watercolor pencil, I'll go over the eyeliner shape. After I do this side, I'll do the same thing on the other side. Now I'm going to use a red iron oxide tint pastel to color in the ears. This has more of a peach color than the pink I was using before. I'm going to do a few coats off screen to build the color. Here's how it turns out. I ombre the ears to a light pink toward the base. Now using a white acrylic paint, I'm going to paint in the teeth. After that, I'll use a black acrylic paint to paint in the eyeliner. As usual, I'll do one side and then the other off screen. After the paint's all dry, I'm going to use a black watercolor pencil to work on the bottom eyelashes. This is always the hardest part for me, so I'm going to use my eraser to refine as I go. Once I'm happy with the lower eyelashes, I'll use a black pastel to shade the base of them. I'll also use the black pastel on the nostril and the eyelids. To finish up the face up, I'm going to give her a beauty mark. I'm going to do it underneath her left eye. Alright, cool, now let's add some whiskers. To do this, I'm going to cut off some paintbrush bristles and attach them with some UV resin. Alright, let's give this a try. Cool, it worked out pretty well. Now I'll just add some more whiskers. I'll do one side and then the other side. To better disguise the base of the whisker, I'll stipple in some white acrylic paint. I also glossed the nose, the teeth, and the waterline. Now let's give her some lashes. I'll be using some Kiss brand faux eyelashes in the style Shy. I'll measure them and cut them to length. I'll use some quick dry tacky glue and a pin, and add some glue to the eye and to the eyelash. Then I'll attach the eyelash to the eye. I'll use another clean pin to help place the eyelash and wipe away any excess glue. Once I'm happy with the placement of both eyelashes, I'll set it aside to dry. Then I'll move on to making the eyes. I'll start with my blank eye bases and paint the irises brown. I'll do most of the work off screen. Here's how they turned out. I tried to do a really soft transition from black to brown. Now I'm going to fill them up with some epoxy. However, I won't fill them up all the way. I'll use a pin and a lighter to pop any bubbles. Then I'll cure it with a UV light. Once that's fully cured, we can add in the catch lights. I'll be using these white heart nail charms for one of them. They're super cute. I'll just use some glue and a pin to place them. After I'm happy with the placement of the hearts, I'm going to do the rest of the catch lights with some white acrylic paint. Alright, now that those are all done, I'm going to dome and gloss these off screen. Alright, now that the eyes are all finished, we're going to add them into the head using some wall mounting putty. I'll do a little ball on the top and then on the bottom. Then I'll just stick it into the head and move it around until I'm happy with the position. Wow, I love how these eyes turned out. She looks super adorable. Alright, next up is accessories. I 3D printed and designed these pizza accessories off screen. Here is her fascinator and some pizza heels. And here are some pizza cabochons. I have them in two sizes. Here is the larger size, and here is the smaller size. I'll be painting these pizza slices pizza colors with some acrylic paint. I'll start out with the cheese and work my way up. After the cheese is nice and cheese colored, I'll be painting the pepperonis with a mixture of red and burnt umber acrylic paint. I'll use this same mixture for the sauce as well. Alright, next up is painting the crust with a brown acrylic paint. I'll be using a few different tones on the crust. Once the crust is all painted, I'll paint the heel base white as well as the plate. After a few coats, it'll be fully opaque. Here's how it turned out. I think they look amazing. Alright, now let's finish this off with a glossy UV top coat. I'll do a matte top coat off screen on the crust. Once I gloss the plate, I'll also add some gloss on the cheese and the pepperonis to make it look nice and greasy. Alright, next up is sewing. Here is the fabric we'll be using today. It's a nice tablecloth pattern. This is actually the bodice pattern. I'll start by hemming the top edge. There will be an inverted box pleat at the front waist. I'm just going to fold it and then tack it in place. Alright, cool, that looks pretty good. Now let's move on to the skirt portion. I'll start by hemming the bottom tier. Then I'll gather the top edge and then attach it to the top tier. Once the bottom tier is attached, I'll do a top stitch on the edge. Then I'll gather the top of the skirt and then attach it to the bodice. Alright, so this looks pretty good so far. Off screen, I added a Velcro closure with some glue at the center back. Now I'm just going to stitch up the bottom of the skirt. Alright, now let's embellish this dress with some bows and some pizza. As you can see in the shot, I also made a petticoat off screen. I'm just going to super glue the bows in place. The waist will get 4 large bows and then the tiers will get 6 smaller bows. Each of the bows will have a pizza slice at the center. Okay, with that last pizza slice, the dress is fully embellished. Now let's move on to painting the nails red. I'll be using a red acrylic paint. I'll be painting both the fingernails and the toenails. After all the nails are painted, I'll do a glossy top coat on the nails off screen. Once I finish up with the nails, I can move on to the wig. I've already prepped everything I need to make the wig. Here's the wig cap that we'll be using for the wig. I went ahead and cut it in a receding hairline pattern so it can compensate for the ears. Here are the yarn wefts that we'll be using. They're a mixture of a light brown and dark brown. Alright, now we're just going to start by gluing them on. I'll start with the front bang portion, and while that dries, I'll do the back portion. I'll continue to go back and forth until the wig's complete. So right about now, I ran out of yarn wefts, and while I was making some off screen and letting the glue dry, I decided to give the hair a little trim and style it. Using a flat iron and a metal chopstick, I'm going to curl the bottom of the hair. Once I'm happy with the position of the curls, I'm going to set it in place with some got-to-be glued hairspray. After it's all styled, I'm going to work on covering up this part. Alright, let's just put the wig on the doll and then we'll add the fascinator. I'll just add some glue to the back of the fascinator and then plop it on. Once the super glue is fully dry, we're going to add some rhinestone earrings. I'll do 2 different sizes on each ear. I'll just add some glue to the rhinestone and then put them on. The finishing detail is going to be her tail. I've already pre-dyed some fabric to match. I ombre the tip of the tail to be a little bit pinker. I'll sew a tube with a point at the end. After that, I'll cut off the excess and turn it inside out. Alright, now that the tail is turned inside out, I'm going to stuff the tail with some extra yarn wefts. To do this, I'm going to use this wooden skewer. I'll just ball up some hair, add it to the end of the skewer, and jam it in. Once I'm happy with the poofiness of the tail, I'm also going to add a wire. This will make the tail poseable. Once I have the wire fully inserted, I'm going to cut off the excess. After that, I'm going to create a little tab at the end and then insert it into the back of the dress. To make it permanent, I'm going to add some glue and then stick it in. Once the glue is fully dry, the doll's complete. So here she is, here's the finished result. I couldn't be happier with how she turned out. I specifically love all of her little pizza details. I love the fascinator and the shoes so much. I also forgot to mention earlier that I made her a necklace out of an extra slice of pizza and some gold chain. My favorite part of the entire doll has to be her whiskers. They were super fun and I'm really happy with how they turned out. I personally only think rats are cute when they're kept as pets and not on the subway or in the street. However, this rat in particular is super adorable. Let me know what you guys think of Pizza Rat in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like I mentioned earlier, if you have any ideas for other dolls for me to do in the future, let me know. For the rest of the video, enjoy the remainder of the photos. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!